Welcome to the watermelon patch. If there is one question I see the most often about growing watermelon, it's how do I know the perfect time to pick a ripe watermelon? There are a lot of myths and old wives' tales floating around out there about how to tell when a watermelon is ripe. So I want to show you the single most reliable indicator that I've been taught to tell when a watermelon is perfectly ripe and ready to pick. So first of all, let's start with I think the most common things that people will tell you, and that includes the thumping. So the common advice is to thump on the watermelons, and the deeper the sound, the more ripe they are. There is a little something to this in the beginning, but ultimately it's not going to tell you when the melon's perfectly ripe. Now, another indicator that people often share is to look at the spot on the bottom of the melon. The common advice is that you want to wait for that spot to turn from white or pale green to kind of a dull yellow. I still tend to look for that, but I don't use that as my sole indicator. Another one that I just came across, which I found really interesting, is the straw test. But let me show you the indicator that I always use. So the key is all in this little tendril right here. What you want to do is follow the stem of your melon down to where it connects to the main stem. Right at that intersection, you will see there's always a tendril and usually a leaf. You want to look for this tendril to be completely dried down and brown. That is how you tell when your watermelon is ripe. If there's any green left to that, you want to wait a bit longer and just keep an eye on that tendril. So this guy is ready to pick. Let's cut him open and see how we did. This was my very dry brown tendrilled watermelon. Let's cut this open and see how we did. So I like that. I like when they snap open like that. That's usually a pretty good sign. So you can see this is a seeded watermelon, but these seeds being completely black is a good sign of maturity. This is a pinkish red variety, so I know my color is right. And then we're just gonna take a little hunk of flesh out of there. Perfectly sweet and juicy. But most importantly, does it pass the kid test? It does. Now compare that to this underripe watermelon. You can see the much lighter color, and you can see these seeds have not turned all the way dark brown or black. So that is an immature melon, for sure. So first, to demonstrate the thumping and how it can work in the beginning. These are some melons that came off another plant that died before any of the melons were ripe. You can hear the kind of sound that these make. Now, here is a ripe melon. Definitely a difference in sound. So that will get you close to knowing when the melon is starting to ripen up. Same thing with this spot. Again, because these were immature, still kind of a whitish spot. I think some of these, like this one, doesn't even have a spot at all. And then you can see compared the difference in color here. So again, that's going to get you close. That's going to give you an idea of when you need to start watching for that tendril change. But the tendril change is really going to give you the best fine-tuned indicator. Now this is an interesting one. I came across some information on the internet that said a November 1945 issue of Popular Science describes the method of the watermelon ripeness straw test. So you take a broom straw, you lay it horizontally across the melon, and if the straw turns to a 45-degree angle, the melon is ripe. Apparently this works by the electrical force present in the watermelon. But as you can see, I'm putting my straw on there, and there's maybe we go this way. There's not a whole heck of a lot happening. We'll try it. I don't know. I assumed this way was horizontally. We'll try it this way too and see if anything happens. Moved a little bit. Let's try one of the unripe melons. I'll go this way. That one also moved. I think it has more to do with the angle of the broom straw and the roundness of the melon than anything. So yeah, I'm gonna say that's complete baloney. Stick with the tendril, folks. And be sure to let me know, do you have a reliable indicator that you use to tell when your watermelons are ripe? I'd be really curious to hear what is working for other people. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.